Let's do this. So, I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle4Freedom on Mojo5 Radio, and we are going to get into a very interesting topic today. If you are watching online, you see a very interesting graphic. Usually have a very interesting title or a graphic that goes with exactly everything that has been in my mind and everything that I like to focus on when I'm doing my broadcast. And so every one of my broadcasts has a message, has a theme that goes right behind it. And yes, we are doing this live, and I hope every last one of you can enjoy exactly everything that we're going to be talking about. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle4Freedom on Mojo50 Radio. And if you want to go to mojo50.com, share it out with as many people as you possibly can. And what we'll do is we'll get in the way. If you want to interact, you should be able to go to facebook.com/Battle4Freedom. And from there, you can leave your message and we will continue to go and have a great time there. So today I want to talk to you about ConnedSensual rape, our medical dystopia. ConnedSensual rape, our medical dystopia. The reason why I take because I'm going to go over a lot of different things with you, and here we are, it's 2022, and it seems like we're about to repeat something that we thought would go away, or we were praying that would go away, but it hasn't happened. Unfortunately, we are stuck in this malaise of power-hungry individuals who have nothing better to do than to make our lives completely and utterly miserable. We are in a world of hurt. Now, sometimes those things can go a whole lot better if you are doing something crazy like me, which is having American Pride Roasters coffee, the official coffee of Mojo5 Radio. But more than anything else, American Pride Roasters coffee is historically great coffee. American Pride Roasters coffee is historically great coffee. I want you to go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com, share it out with as many people as you possibly can, and they will share their appreciation, their gratitude for you as we do this, as we have this interesting and amazing time going through this week. Honestly, this week is also big and huge because it is the last few days of my kids' school, and I'm really excited to spend some quality time with my kids, and less stress on my wife getting them off to school. I'm excited for this, and I think this is going to be a whole lot of fun. This is going to be a huge adventure, and I'm looking forward to all the different things that we're going to be planning out with me, my wife, my kids, and that we really enjoy this. Again, if you want to interact, you can go to facebook.com/Battle4Freedom. Leave a comment there, and we'll go. I see Heidi. I see Christopher. I see Heidi. Christopher. Heidi, Jamie, Christopher, and Lep. Jamie and Lep are the dynamic duo from Ain't You a Peach. You can catch them on the weekends on Mojo5 Radio. You can catch Lep with Rock'em Sock'em Saturdays. And this is your chance for you to better understand who are the hosts that are available to you on this network. Go to mojo50.com/schedule or schedule, whichever way you want to pronounce it, and you can leave a message there. And I believe that it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time and a lot of education. Hey, Curtis, thank you for joining and being part of this as well. So as we sit here and talk about this whole idea of ConnedSensual rape, I'm going to start going through a whole bunch of stories for you because a lot of this is just really downright crazy. And as we think about this, folks, it's going to be insane in the main brain, and you're just going to feel a little bit on the overwhelmed side. Oh, you know what? I can't forget them because this is another one of our hosts, another one of our sponsors, and we really appreciate them. New Life Holistic. Take a listen to this. Yes. Let's see. Not that one, not that button. No, this is the one I want. Yes. I don't know what you've been going through, but I'm certain that you're tired of the useless systems you've been wasting on money for therapy. Contact New Life Holistics by going to newlifeholistics.com right now. Give them the code Mojo50 and save $50 on your first session. Biofeedback may be the one solution that can help you. Try New Life Holistics today. Yes, try New Life Holistic and let them know that Watson from Battle for Freedom had sent you, and we're going to have some fun as we get into this. So what's the first thing that's going to be on the news here? And this is the part that's really crazy because they're saying, oh, and hey, Trisha and Tim, thank you for being part of the program. And Linda, thank you for being part of the program. We really appreciate you joining and being part of this. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm saying this again. This is just it's just going a little bit crazy. My system decided it wanted to play ahead of time, and these are all the different things I'm going to be sharing with you. Yes, let's just start with this one here. Yeah, we're going to go through all the different things that's on here. Health chief declares 2 new COVID variants of concern, but says the experts say there's no reason to panic. There's no reason for you to panic about what's going to be happening here. It's only 2 new variants. Let's see. They said, yeah, 6 child. Oh, yes, this is the wrong one. Yes, this is the one. I apologize. I'm going to get there in a second. This is just an emotional week for me. The UK chiefs today declared Omicron BA.4 and BA.5 as new variants of concern, but both the new variants were originally spotted in South African earlier this year. Scientists predict they will overtake Omicron B2 and Omicron BA2, the current dominant virus. Early data indicates that this is due to previous immunity offering less protection. But with no sign of increased illness, experts say there's no reason to worry at all. That's what they say right now. No reason to worry. Yeah, whatever. So let's carry on this thing that's just so lovely as you sit here and you look at what these people have to say. Next one here. Because there's a theme here, and I think you need to understand exactly how badly this is about to get, and this is not going to get any better. Let's see. CDC calls for adults to get second booster despite pushback from many experts who say that the double shots are not needed. COVID health continue to fall, down 13% over the past week. Dr. Rochelle Walensky, who heads up the CDC, has called on older Americans to still get their second booster. The extra jabs were approved for the age group by the end of March, but many still have not got up to their shots. I'm going to pause on this one for a second, because of the fact that I want to tell you a story. There's a friend of mine who basically got their child is experiencing some severe pain right now because of medications that they have taken. And now one of my friend's family members, they're experiencing, unfortunately, paralysis because of medications that they were told that they had to take. And the reason why I call this consensual rape, CONNED, sensual rape, is because of the fact that a lot of people have been violated on this. It's not consensual rape, even consensual, but consensual rape is the medical dystopia that we are in right now. And I think it's going to get worse as we sit here and we keep talking about a lot of the different things that are taking place here. And so I just ask that you pray for everyone. Oh, good news. Many of you last year, I expressed some concern about my dad, because of him getting some stuff that he was given between a hospital and nursing home. And he was really out of sorts and he was in bad condition. He suffered 3 strokes after getting some stuff. And yesterday he called me Yesterday he called me. I've been trying to reach him for months, and yesterday was the first time I was able to talk to my dad in a long time. So for all of you who have been praying for him, I just want to say thank you for your prayers. He's still got a road. He's got a road to recover on, but I really appreciate every last one of you who have been putting my dad in your prayers, and know that God has been very kind and allowing me to speak to my father. And I'm just praying that anyone else who has missing their loved ones because of all the craziness of the last 2 years, that they'll be able to reconnect and everything will come back to some sense of normality for them in their lives. But there's something happened over the last couple of years that we lost a lot. We lost a lot of freedoms. We lost so much in the guise of protecting and loving everyone. In the guise of protecting and loving everyone. I say that tongue in cheek, but I want you to actually, let's focus on my graphic for a second. For those of you who can see this, I'll describe it to you, those of you who may be listening in your car and you can't look at the screen. Thank you, Kathy, for joining and being part of the program. It says, if you love me and your family, your friends, neighbors, and your job, domestic violence, we watched a lot of domestic violence take place over the last couple of years, but a lot of it has been issued and executed. A lot of it has been executed by governments, by quote unquote experts, and it seems like they're in tow for round 2, 3, 4, and 5. As all these different stories that are coming up, it seems like they're in tow for season 2, season 3, season 4, and season 5. And I think that we need to be in prayer, folks, because what's coming down the pike is not good. And we need to be in serious prayer for our friends, for our families, for our family, friends, neighbors, and even our coworkers, because what's coming is not going to be good. So please, let's keep everyone lifted up. Let's move on to the next one here, because there's something I want to kind of cover in the second part of this program today, the second segment. Oh, here you go. Sixth child dies in U.S. dies of hepatitis in mysterious outbreak. And 180 cases and 15 youngsters left needing a liver transplant. Dr. Jay Butler from the CDC revealed the updated fatality count at a briefing. He did not say where the fatality occurred or the age of the child that died. America has reported the most fatalities out of any nation so far in the mysterious hepatitis outbreak. Scientists are puzzled as to what is causing the condition, but an infection with the adenovirus, which can cause the common cold, is the leading theory. So, this is very interesting. So we were leading the fatalities in COVID, and now we're leading the fatalities in hepatitis. I'm wondering if monkeypox will be the leading infections in this world. Well, no, actually, I think that there's more to that story. Let's go on to the next one here. So I'm going to do the best that I can to remain calm, keep myself together in this, because this is very interesting. Monkeypox patients could be infectious for up to 4 weeks after symptoms appear, experts say. As 11 countries and Massachusetts reports cases, monkeypox patients are contagious for as long as they have symptoms, typically a rash or a skin lesion that can pass on the virus. So what's next? We had face condoms for 2 years, and there's still people walking around in face condoms. Nothing to you. If that's what makes you feel secure, that's perfectly fine. But what's next? Because those monkeypox could be anywhere. On your hands, on your arms, on your legs. It can maybe even look like a puberty blister or a pimple. We don't know. So what are people going to be wearing now? What is going to be, because we got to let people get out and do whatever they want, or are we going to do something weird and something strange, like tell them to stay home? Are we going to find a few million or 35 million more people who are non-essential as a result of the monkeypox situation and the outbreak? Are we going to find more people who are non-essential because of hepatitis and monkeypox? And, let's see, because we skipped chickenpox. We went straight to monkeypox. I wonder what the next one's going to be. We did chicken, and then we did the monkey. Elephant pox. That'll be the next one. I have no idea. Elephant pox will be the next one. But now it's growing tremendously in the United States. Body doms. That's a good one, Tim. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. That's really funny. And you know what? And right on time. You just gotta love these people. The FDA approved smallpox drug, also believed to be able to treat monkeypox, as global cases of the rare virus grow in the U.S. and Europe. The FDA has given the green light to the IV version, or the version 4 of TPOXX, a smallpox drug that can be used to treat monkeypox. Many smallpox drugs are used to treat the rare virus, as there are no therapeutics tailored specific to it. See, this is the thing that's very interesting, because of the fact, I wonder if this TPOXX has been around as long as hydroxychloroquine. I mean, because if they're using something that's been around for a long time, because I think hydroxychloroquine was being used for like 65 years. And so I wonder if they're using hydroxychloroquine for TPOXX. This will be very interesting. Well, not TPOXX, but for the monkeypox. I wonder if that's one of the tools or one of the medicines that may have been tried on this. I wonder if maybe even ivermectin might be used for monkeypox. I have no idea. I'm not saying in any way, this is in no way a medical information thing. It's just a curious thing because of the drugs that were used over the last 70 years. And with this big outbreak here, I'm thinking that the medical experts are going to use every tool that's available to their arsenal to get rid of this. I'm sure that cleanliness and hygiene is going to probably be one of the top things that will be mentioned in the process of keeping yourself clean and preventing any disease spread. I'm believing that they're going to promote the hygiene and possibly even the idea of quarantining individuals to make sure. I don't know. I mean, they used quarantine last time. I don't know if they're going to use quarantine this time, but in any way, in anything that I'm saying, nothing I'm saying right now is insinuating or promoting any kind of medical cure or witch doctor brew that would actually help us in the midst of the monkeypox. Because in me doing something like that, I would actually be taking the role of some kind of medical expert. And I'm just trying to do the best that I can to report this information and share this information on with you as best as I possibly can. But I'm sure that the medical experts, I'm sure that the people with all the experience I'm sure with all people with all the money, experience, will be able to offer the best solution in us overcoming it. And you know what the best time for us to do this and experience this, especially with Dr. Fauci writing a book about, not Dr. Fauci, but Anthony Fauci writing a book about surviving the next situation like this that may come up. I'm telling you that to anticipate and know where all these things are going to happen, I'm telling you, we've got the best people in charge to make certain that we can endure this. I mean, so much so. I mean, you're talking about best people in charge. I mean, you got to love this. I mean, is that that was the one for that there. Yeah. Best person in charge. Here it is. Joe Biden warns everybody should be concerned about monkeypox, that further spread of the rare virus would be consequential. As the president says that Jake Sullivan says vaccine has already been stockpiled for monkey virus. Wait. The vaccine is already stockpiled for the monkey virus? Just here yesterday in Indiana, a huge cargo plane just flew in with thousands and thousands of containers of baby formula. You know, one of the things one of my friends told me about moving here to Indiana is that you can get the 3/4 or 2/3 of major cities by car from Indianapolis within 1 day, within 1 day's travel. So I was wondering, why in the world would you send it here? But it makes sense to bring it here because this is the fastest route for distribution and getting it to as many places as possible and help people who are maybe struggling. But the president has been briefed on the outbreak. His security advisor said, and Biden has said it is something everybody should be concerned about. It's something that everyone should be concerned about as we have another outbreak. And the crazy part about it is, 2 years ago during election season, I wouldn't think anything about it. I mean, we only had we just had a spark national racial outrage at the time. So we're going to be going to Summer of Love 2.0 now. Because of the fact that it's the likes of Ultra MAGA. Ultra MAGA is basically, because regular MAGA was super white supremacy, but Ultra MAGA is double the fun. Take care, Linda. Be safe and stay out of trouble. Yes, we're going to have double the fun. We're going to have double the fun of the racism and the hatred and the supremacy and so much more. And more sickness on the way, just in time to make certain that we have the fairest election process possible and we have the right people in charge to make sure that everything goes the way it needs to. So all you 81 million who allegedly voted and assisted the current successful administration that we have right now, I'm begging every last one of you. I want you to be safe and I want you to be careful because of the fact that, you know what, we just don't know what's going to happen. And I just don't know how severe and desperate people are going to be this time around when it comes to the elections. I just don't know how bad it's going to be. People are going to be feeling hopeless. Inflation and racism and just so much ultra MAGAism is just, and shortages of baby formula and so much more. But look how the president comes in and saves the day just in time to bring in this baby formula. See, we're not worried about Ukraine anymore. We're not worried about it. It's just very interesting how we are getting filled with a lot of different things here that by now you should recognize we've been played. We've been played. But let's finish with the last one here because you got to love these guys. Who would we be without them? World Health Organization to convene emergency smallpox meeting amid growing fears about the world's outbreak. Germany becomes the 11th country to record a case of the tropical virus. 6 of the Britain's 9 confirmed smallpox cases are men who have sex with men. What? Okay, now I'm just reporting what's on the Daily Mail. This is exactly what's on the Daily Mail. I'll even put the link in the timeline for you that says that Germany becomes the 11th place on here. Wow. Okay. Well, let's do this. We're about to go to a break. And when we come back from the break, I want to make certain that we are all doing well. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle4Freedom on Mojo Fiber Radio. I'll talk to you on the flip side right about now. I'm just going to stop talking and let all of you enjoy your time away as I spend some time to myself. Now, for 2 minutes, you can go to the bathroom. You can do whatever you need to, because this is very important that you get yourself ready for the next segment. So much we're going to be covering, so much that we need to talk about, because of the fact that it's very key that we are prepared for the worst case scenario. Now, if you haven't gone to, I want to tell you a really cool secret, and I've got only about a minute to do this. I want you to go to Romika Designs, Romika, ROMIKADESIGNS.com. They've got some really cool things at Romika Designs. You will be blown away by the skill and the wit of these creators there. So many different things that they have made, and you can't go wrong. I'm telling you, it's pretty stinking cool. It's pretty stinking awesome when you see the things that they're making at Romika Designs. I wish I was half as creative, but I'm only 1/10 creative as them. And if you get a chance to, while you're at it, do me a favor, go to mojo50.com / donate, give if you can. Go to the shop button, and basically give out as much as you can, or not give out, buy as much as you can while you're there. I want you to wipe their inventory clean, because the fact that Mojo50 Radio, they're just wanting to sell you their love and so much more. Mojo50.com / shop, and you can't go wrong. We're going to be coming back here in about 6 seconds. And now we're back. We're back, folks, and we're going to have some fun as we sit here talking about consensual rape, our medical dystopia. So, you know what? It's actually very interesting as we sit here. We do this. I completely forgot to do this, so I'm going to have to bring this up on another screen. Again, one of our sponsors, New Life Holistic. Get that biofeedback therapy that you need, that has been probably bugging you for so long. I also want you to do me a favor. I want you to consider, what is it? I want you to consider American Pride Roasters Coffee, the historically great coffee and official coffee of Mojo50 Radio. Now, there is one more I want to bring in, and I'm not going to have time for you to see the definition, but I'm going to give you the definition from online, and we'll go from here. So I said here, and I say consensual rape, our medical dystopia. So many of you may not know what the word dystopia means. So I'm going to spend some time giving it to you so that you can understand and know exactly what dystopia means. And this is now officially off of, let me bring this up here, and I don't have that extra screen feature there. Nope, I don't. This is off of Merriam-Webster.com as we look at this definition here. Definition of dystopia: an imagined world or society in which people lead wretched, dehumanized, fearful lives. Second definition is an anti-utopia. An anti-utopia. See, we're about to go into another situation here, which is going to make life completely horrific and horrible for everyone. And as we watch this, and things are coming to an end, yes, Jamie, things are coming. It's going to get very, very crazy. And it's going to get insane. So I want to share some things with you so you understand exactly why there will be a lot of resistance. There'll be a lot of resistance to the changes that are about to take place within the next few months. And just in time for another election, just in time for round 2 of lockdowns. It successfully worked the first time. I believe that the agents who are in charge will make such thing happen once more. This is the inevitability. This is what we need to assume, and we need to be prepared for the worst case scenario. as we sit here and we talk about this. So let's get into a little bit more on this and what we're going to go through. Many of you need to understand that there was this thing that took place a long time ago called the Nuremberg. Oh, why does it keep doing this? Why does it keep doing it? It's just so eager to get through all the different points. But I'm going to do this here. Let's start here. I want you to know something about called the Nuremberg Code. The Nuremberg Code is, that's probably because my fat arms keep touching things. The Nuremberg Military Tribunal decision in the case of the United States v. Karl Brand et al. I just had to say that, so silly. Includes what is now called the Nuremberg Code, a 10-point statement delimiting permissible medical experimentation on human subjects. According to this statement, human experimentation is justified only if its results benefits society, and it is carried out in accord with basic principles that satisfy, and I love this, in quote unquote, satisfy moral, ethical, and legal concepts. Now, the problem that you run into is they say that the results, the humane experimentation is justified only if it benefits human society, the results benefit society. And the problem is who's the one benefiting? I think that's a question that a lot of people have been asking for decades. Who benefits on these experimentations? You know, and not only that, not only who benefits, I would dare say satisfy moral, ethical, and legal concepts. Now, the question is what is the measure for satisfaction? What is the measure, and who are the people who get to define that status of what is morally and ethically satisfying, and also what is legal? But if the WHO has been given control to, the World Health Organization has been given control to redefine, I mean, were they not the people who defined who was essential? And now they are basically making an effort to demonize anyone who doesn't do or believe what they say. So what is it? The one with all the money makes the rules, and the one with all the food makes the rules. The one with all the gas makes the rules. So these are the things that are very interesting as we look at this thing, that there was an issue delimiting permissible medical experimentation on human subjects. That's a 10-point statement delimiting this. And who benefits? Exactly. This is very interesting. And so I want to go through some of those 10 points here. Let's look at this first one. It's going to be kind of small on the screen for many of you who are looking, so I'm going to read this for you, and hopefully in the process of doing this, you'll understand exactly what's going on here. The first one, the first code, as we look at this, and it's basically the voluntary consent of the human subject is absolutely essential. This means that the person involved should have the legal capacity to give consent, should be situated as to be able to exercise free power of choice without the intervention of any element of force, fraud, deceit, duress, overreaching, or the ulterior form or other ulterior form of constraint or coercion, and should have sufficient knowledge and comprehension of the elements of the subject matter involved as to enable him or her or they, whichever way or flavor you take it, to make an understanding, and an enlightened decision. This latter experiment requires this latter element requires that before the acceptance of an affirmative decision by the experimental subject, there should be made known to him, her, they, the nature, duration, and purpose of the experiment. the method and means by which it is to be conducted, all inconveniences and hazards reasonably to be expected, and the effects upon his, her, they, health, the person's, let's just go with the person's health, or the person may possibly come in from the person's participation in the experiment. The duty and responsibility for ascertaining the quality of the consent rests upon each individual who initiates, directs, or engages in the experiment. It is a personal duty and a responsibility which may not be delegated to another with impunity. So the idea of, and I think the very first statement, the very first sentence, the voluntary consent of the human subject is absolutely essential. They should have a legal capacity to give consent. But you know what? A lot of those legal capacities have been stripped away from individuals when laws are passed by Congress that prevent the people who are making the experiments to be liable for the disasters, especially when there was not sufficient time given in the past for people to make informed decisions about anything that they may be putting in their systems. There was just a rushed process, emergency process, and I'm sure that the WHO and the United States and many other countries basically found loopholes around the idea of consent and informed consent. No. Those words were actually removed. Those words were scorned. Those words were stricken from the record and from the national platform, because at that time, if you loved someone, you would basically do what was necessary, even if it meant compromising yourself. I mean, I just really think about, I have friends and family who are survivors of domestic violence. And one of the things that domestic abusers basically will say is, if you love me, you'll do this. You know I'm doing this because I love you. And I'm only doing it because I love you. See, we're getting to the point now, because Jamie brings up something really big. This is all leading to the mark of the beast. Now, before, we couldn't say that, right? We are literally watching controlled shortage of foods, of water, of gasoline, of basic necessities. And even another thing that's basically becoming an extinct, or, coming to the point of extinction, is something so simple as the word liberty and freedom. The words liberty and freedom. All in the name of keeping everyone safe. And many of you will continue to sit there and call us conspiracy theory wackos. And that's perfectly fine. If that's what gives you, if being demeaning and demoralizing is what gives you the strength to carry on and feel good about yourself, carry on. Because of the fact, at the end of the day, the truth will speak out. The truth will be made known. We are in some very desperate and trying times. And I'm praying that many of us, many of you, what is to come is going to be far worse than you ever could imagine. Actually, I think that was part of one of my morning's devotional. I wish I had this on the screen, but I'm just going to have to give it to you and read you what I have on here. This is from Book of Joel, chapter 1, verses 2 and 3. Hear this, you elders, give ear, all inhabitants of the land. For such a thing has such a thing happened in your days, or in the days of your fathers. Tell your children of it, and let your children tell their children and their children to another generation. And I just basically say, what is to come is unimaginable. It's unimaginable. The level of devastation will be overwhelming. And the only way to eternally survive is to be anchored in Christ because of his salvific work on our behalf. There's nothing more truer than that. And I pray that as we sit here talking about just the changes that are to come, that you will never believe that you didn't get a chance to be forewarned of the worst case scenario. Yes, Carolyn, we're starting to feel the labor pains, most definitely. Jamie, I'm no longer a conspiracy theorist. I'm a believer of the word and God, and the end is coming. It's definitely there, sweetie. If I can actually call you that, I'm sorry if I assumed the right to say that word. Forgive me if I've crossed bars or crossed barriers. That's the last thing I want to do is cause any offense. Oh, Lord, help us. We need so much help. We need so much help. Lord, help us. Let's get into the next one here. Let's go to the next one, too. Let's go to the second one here. The experiment should be such as to yield fruitful results for the good of society, unprocurable by other methods or other means of study, and not random and unnecessary in nature. So now here's the thing about it, though, is when you get into terms, now, while the Nuremberg Code in its initial form wasn't this to deal with what happened with the Nazi experiments, in its face, thank you, Jamie. In its face, it was probably a good idea, but it was worded completely wrong and made room for the atrocities happening today. Because in this phrase here, to yield fruitful results for the good of society, that means that a minority can be sacrificed for the majority. Do you hear that? A minority, because again, who makes the final decisions? And now, right now, the assumption and the illusion is that, one particular party is here to protect and save black people, minorities, and other minorities, and make sure that they have the proper representation that they need. But those said supporters of said party don't realize that the very people right now who are basically using terms like the good of society will have the same power in the future to say, we deem you non-essential. We're not going to give you the food and the rations that you determine. You will work for us until we deem that you're worthy. I'm sorry, with all the different movies that have come out through Hollywood, whether it is The Hunger Games or Divergent or what is it, the Maze. What is it? Oh my goodness. Really, are you kidding me? The Legends, not the Legends. Oh my goodness, Sonny. It's going to come to me in a second here. With all the different things that are happening here, you it's so funny, Lep. I don't know. I'm kind of triggered by the apology. Now that's really funny. But the Hollywood has been sharing to us exactly what this dystopia is going to look like. A living hell for the sake of the better, for the good of everyone. But what they don't tell you is that the good of society is not for the majority, it is for a select minority. That's not you, and it's not me. The very elitists that you've been trying to fight are the very elitists that you're empowering right now. But you're going to fight things like alleged bones out there like, white supremacy, ultra MAGA, capitalism is evil. Guns are evil. Pro-life is evil. Liberty, freedom, those words are evil. Don't be triggered, because a lot of people are going to be triggered right now. That phrase is the scariest phrase in the world, folks, and you don't seem to understand it. That phrase, the fruitful results for the good of society, are the most damning words, the most damning words you'll ever hear in your life. Version 3. This experiment should be so designed and based on the results of animal experimentation and a knowledge of the natural history of the disease or the other problem under study that the anticipated results will justify the performance of experiment. Here's the problem about it, though. They don't tell you that this is way. No. You get a couple of weird news articles of, yeah, they're looking at this experiment. Why? Why would you even go there? Why go there and experiment on these things? Because aren't you in effect, by experimenting on the animals, creating a higher probability of said experiment, basically making it out into society and affecting everyone? It's basically like, okay, so I'm going to make sure that this black community will not have a drug problem by bringing the crack cocaine into the black community to make sure that it's controlled and it will not get out of control here. Yes. You remember that line y'all used about the CIA and the government bringing crack into the black community? But you're still voting for the people who empowered the CIA to do that very thing. Yes, see, the crack epidemic was the study on how human nature would be affected by filtering and throwing drugs in there. But you still vote for the very people who authorize this. Not Republicans, not conservatives. Well, maybe some of them, but not all of them. But the very Democrats that you continue to empower and vote for. Number 4. The experiment should be conducted as to avoid all unnecessary physical and mental suffering and injury. Too late. Too late. Well, we can't talk about the VAERS database because of the fact that that's all conspiracy theory. Until Pfizer actually released a report saying that it was only 12% efficacy instead of the 95% that we were told. And that they were showing a lot of things that many people who have lost accounts on social media have been censored to death by big tech. That the Pfizer reports are saying everything that the censored people have been saying. You have to understand that it's consensual rape. Because a lot of people have been basically conned into allowing themselves to be prostituted for the benefits of society. I think I told you about it. It was last month. Some person decided to drink dysentery because there was a vaccine made for it, and they wanted to do a test to make certain that they could survive the situation. Willful, consensual rape. Yeah. Yes, that's true, Leb. Let's go to number 5. No experiment should be conducted where there is a priori reason to believe that death or disabling injury will occur, except perhaps in those experiments where the experimental physicians also serve as subjects. So you're basically saying that, if I'm understanding this correct, are you saying that the people who are doing the experiment are the physicians and they will be subject? Where are the needle tracks and the leaders, the medical experts? Has Walensky or Fauci or Birx or any of them shown the tracks in their bodies for their injections and experimentations of these things on themselves? Do we have this code? Do we have this information? I don't know. It's just interesting. Number 6, The degree of risk to be taken should never exceed that determined by the humanitarian importance of the problem to be solved by the experiment. This is a lot like the I think I'm gonna have to go back and revisit this tomorrow, possibly for a brief segment of looking at the what is the creed for the doctors again. It'll come to me in a minute. I'll let one of the smarter people give me the answer here in the timeline. I'll wait for that, and we'll just move on to the next one. Number 7, the proper preparation should be made and adequate facilities provided to protect the experimental subject against even remote possibilities of injury, disability, or death. No, we just bury the bodies in New York and act like they didn't happen. The experiment, number 8, the experiment should be conducted by scientifically qualified persons. The highest degree of skill and care should be required through all stages of the experiment of those who conduct or engage in the experiment. There's that beautiful word. That word is going to justify so much more evil scientifically. Qualified persons. SQP. Squips. Basically, the Hippocratic Oath. Thank you very much, Jamie. I really appreciate that. The Hippocratic Oath. It's the Hippocratic Oath. Not the Hippocratic Oath. It's the Hippocratic Oath of the people who basically decided they were going to write this Nuremberg Code because they are not abiding by said principles. But again, when you say the squips can be the people who decide what's going on, then you know what? We don't have to worry about it. Squips, the scientifically qualified persons. Very, very scary. Number 9, the experiment should be conducted by, I think I may have repeated myself. Oops. Let's see. Let's look at this. Number 9. I think I may have, oh no, here it is. Possibly. Number 9. Let's see what number 10 is. Yeah, here it is. I didn't make it sure. Make it in there. Proper preparation should be made and adequate facilities to protect the experimental subject against the death. Let's go to number 10 and let's go from there. I think I missed one on here, but again, it's only Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever it is. Number 10, during the course of the experiment, the human subject should be at liberty to bring the experiment to an end if he has reached if they, he, she, they, or wherever has reached the physical or mental state where continuation of the experiment seems to him or her or they to be impossible. During the course of the experiment, the scientist in charge must be prepared to terminate the experiment at any stage if the person has probable cause to believe in the exercise of good faith, superior skill, and careful judgment required by the persons that a continuation of the experiment is likely to result in injury, disability, or death to the experimental subject. You know, this is very sad because of the fact that this is where we are. But you know what? There's this thing that we do. It was recommended by Beth. Actually, I gave you the Nuremberg Code. Let me give you the Sovereign Code. Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. John 14:6. This is how you endure the craziness of what's going on. But Beth Knott had told me something about the attitude of gratitude, and I want to share this one quickly with you. 3 United States Air Force cadets who refuse COVID vaccine will not be commissioned as military officers, but will graduate with a bachelor's degree as the fourth gets a jab at the last minute to make the cut. Academy spokesman Dean Miller said that the fourth cadet who had refused the vaccine until about a week ago decided to be vaccinated and will graduate. Miller said that while the 3 will get a degree, they will not be commissioned into the United States Air Force as long as they remain unvaccinated. So there was a point in this where it said, not under duress, not forced, not coerced. But this is where we are right now. See, the reason why I say my attitude of gratitude is those 3 Air Force cadets who will not be commissioned, I want us to be praying for those individuals. I want us, because they stood up for what they believe. And I think a lot of us are going to have to stand up for what we believe, because the worst is yet to come. And if you don't believe that things are about to get really bad, I would dare say you've been inoculated against the truth. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle4Freedom on Mojo5 Radio. Brad Staggs and Daily Mojo's up next. If you're listening in the afternoon, you probably might have been just finished listening to Mike Phillip from American Neck Radio. But there's so many other shows that you can find if you just go to mojo50.com/schedule, however you pronounce it. Have a blessed day. Take care. I'm out.